Luna, I need to sit down. Come on. Come on. No, let's go. Come on. Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the If She Sits, She Knits podcast. I am Heather. I am coming to you from Central Texas, where I live with my husband, 2 daughters, 3 dogs, and now a cat. Today is November 10th, 2022, and it is a cloudy, kind of moody looking day outside. We are like right before a cold front here in Texas, so like our allergies are all like flared up and everything is just kind of, there's a lot of pollen in the air. So that's our beginning of Texas fall / winter. Places that you can find me are on Instagram as the handle If She Sits She Knits, also on Ravelry with the same name, and of course here on YouTube. I have been pretty inconsistent with posting podcasts in the past year since I started it. We are at about the 1-year anniversary of the podcast, so that's pretty cool. But I only have 7 episodes because life gets the best of us and sometimes you just can't make time. I'm about to get attacked by my cat. I have a feeling she's going to be very disruptive in this podcast, and I apologize in advance if that's a little distracting and that's not what you're here for. My life is chaotic and that's just how things are. I have a moment of peace to try and do a podcast today without having my girls here or my husband here. So just me, the dogs, and the cat. And the cat is being a cat. So I primarily knit, but in this podcast, I have some crochet. The first thing that I am going to get into is finished objects. So the first finished object that I have is knitting, and it is the Spirit Board Cowl from Knitted by Nova, and I have this upside down. I was a test knitter for this pattern, and this is supposed to have some of the Ouija board vibes with it. And when I was chosen to test knit this, I got to pick the colors that I wanted, and then you have the option to pick whatever charts that you want to. She's already done for you, but you get to select how you want, so you can personalize it as much or as little as you want, because in the pattern she also kind of gives you an example. Luna's trying to mess with my tripod. Let's see what she does. Okay, she's messing with my light tripod, so maybe she'll just leave me alone over on this one. This has, okay, so this one I chose Goodbye. My light's gonna eat it here in a second because of the cat. I did numbers, then yes, no. Also, I went through the alphabet, moon phases, some planchettes, which is the piece that you move around on the board. And then the top part, I chose hello. Then there is a pretty cool braid that you get to do in the pattern, which is something I've never done before. So I definitely learned a new technique with this pattern. And then there's the main chart that you do in the pattern. This has some sparkle with it, so as you can see, it looks like there is some striping in there. And this is Patton's yarn. It's a type of like sparkle where it's already in the fiber, and it's pretty patterned. It's not like it's sporadic through the yarn. So you can pretty much anticipate that you're gonna have a stripe of stellina in the pattern. Like you do a couple rows and then stripe of sparkle. So it's a little bit different. I don't not like it, but when you're doing a chart, it I guess if I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't do it with this specific yarn because of just the solid stripe that goes through it. But overall, this was a super fun pattern to knit. It is a cowl, so it will be whenever it does get cold here, which maybe next week. You can choose to do it straight like this, or in the pattern you can have it have like a twist like this. But you would, once you see, if you do purchase the pattern, and I would strongly suggest that you purchase the pattern because it's super fun. She also has other, like, if this is not for you, if the Ouija board thing is not for you, she does have some pretty cool other patterns that are fall patterns and things like that. And they're really simple to follow. You may get, you know, a cool technique thrown in there with it. And yeah, this is a really good time. It was also pretty quick to knit. I think I did this in about, the time frame that I had was about a month. So there is that. So that's the first finished object I have. The next finished object I have is crochet. And to talk about my knitting journey, I learned to crochet around the age of 10. And I have no solid memory of someone actually sitting down and teaching me how to crochet. At least the basic parts of crochet. Once I picked it up and I knew the basics, I learned, of course, with books and things like that, how to do different stitches. And it just kind of went from there. So I started out as a crocheter, and I think that also explains why I'm a continental knitter, because I have my working yarn in my left hand and I work my way through it. And I think crochet is what transitioned me to be a continental knitter. When I learned how to knit, it was from books and from YouTube, and a primary teacher for me was Very Pink Knits, and that's where I learned how to knit socks. That's how I knit, learn how to get different stitches, and it went from there. And now we're here, gosh, I want to say, I think I was 16, 17 years old, still like high school to now, and I just turned 35. So that's how I got to where I'm at now. So back to my next finished object, which is, it's from the pattern from Kelsey Leggett. The pattern is called Timothy T-Rex. She did go by Blue Phone Studios. I purchased this pattern back in 2010, 2011, I think. Gosh, maybe it was later than that. But I've made a couple of these T-Rexes. So So let me just go ahead and show you. This is probably something that a lot of you have seen. This is Timothy the T-Rex pattern, but in our house, this is Sparkle. And Sparkle was crocheted for my daughter, Maddie. And I asked her one day if she wanted me to make her a T-Rex or like a dinosaur, excuse me, plushie. And she said yes. I had this yarn because another finished object that I had from not too long ago is I crocheted some Mickey Mouse ears for one of my friends and coworker. She was going to Disney, and I saw someone on TikTok crochet some Mickey Mouse ears, and I was like, hey, so I guess maybe I need to crochet you some Mickey Mouse ears. And she's a big Dallas Cowboys fan, so I went to Hobby Lobby. Not my favorite place to buy yarn, not my favorite store in general, but it's the closest place that I have to inexpensive yarn minus Walmart or Michael's. Michael's is a little bit further away from me. So Dallas Cowboys colors. Maddie, I had some ends sticking out, so I'm just tucking it back in. Maddie really likes the color blue, my daughter, and I asked her what color she wanted the stripes, and she said she wanted white. We'll see how long they stay bright like this because she is almost 4. So I think Sparkle is probably gonna get some decent attention from my daughter. So I think this is super cute. Like I said, I've made a couple of these before. The addition that I made to it is when I got done with this, there was a request that Sparkle have a mouth. So I stitched in a little mouth for her. It's not perfect, but I think it's pretty cute. Right now, me and Sparkle match. My nails match Sparkle. It's been a while since I crocheted, so it may not be perfectly to the pattern, but it definitely is pretty close to what Sparkle should look like. Luna has now joined the podcast. The next thing, do I have another finished object? No, I just have 2. The next thing I want to get into is works in progress. So the first work in progress I have is in my Stolen Minutes bag. And it is a Musselburgh hat. Maddie seems to be getting a lot of hand knits lately. I think I showed them last time, but that was the... She wanted rainbow socks, so I knit her a pair of socks. And now she wants a hat. This is the second Musselburgh or Musselburgh. I'm not 100% sure how I'm supposed to say it. Knitty Natty says Musselburgh. I've heard it called Musselburgh. I'm probably not saying it right. This is Lemonade Shop yarn. This is an Ann Tudor Progress Keeper. These stitch markers that I have right here, if it will focus for me. Right here, these little stars, I 3D printed them. I'm pretty proud of them. So again, with my requests from my daughter is that she wanted a rainbow hat. I knit another rainbow hat a long time ago, and it's one that I knit, and I think it was the kind of like the sock head hat pattern, but kind of not. And I asked Maddie if she wanted a new hat, and she said yes. Because last year I knit her a Musselburgh, but it was in, well, it started out as mine, but I knit it too small. And that was the pink Stellina one. I think it's over, in the, my knitting cabinet. Somewhere over here. Anyway, it's pink. It has Stellina in it. It's super cute. Maddie said she didn't want that one. It doesn't fit me. So my daughter Morgan can wear the pink one if she wants to. If she doesn't want to wear the pink one, excuse me. Don't be rude. Don't be rude, Luna. If she doesn't want to wear the pink one and she wants me to knit her one, I will. Morgan definitely has some... Rude. Morgan definitely has some knitting that I need to make up for. But I am working on something for her. I'm not just working on things for Maddie. Am I doing any gift knitting this year? No, I'm not. I knit for my kids when they ask me to knit something for them. And I knit for myself. Hi, Luna. Oh, kitty kisses. So I'm going to pause for a second because I keep talking about Luna or talking to Luna. About a month and a half ago, I went and adopted Luna from the animal shelter. And she is supposed to be Maddie's cat because Maddie told me that she wanted a kitty. She wanted an orange kitty, and she was going to name her Zuma, like from Paw Patrol. Even though Zuma is a puppy, Maddie liked the name Zuma. So I stopped at the animal shelter and I went in the kitty room. And I saw Luna, who was in there with another kitty. And I'm primarily a dog person. I mean, that's probably hard to believe right now because me and Luna are cozied up here on this chair. But since Maddie wanted a kitty, I was like, we talked about it. She's about to be 4. I had a cat when I was 4. That cat really didn't like me very much because our personalities clashed. Like, I wanted to love on the kitty and the kitty didn't want to love on me. But, you know, it was, my mom had gotten me my first cat, Samantha, when I was about 3 or 4. So anyway, I found Luna. And I let her sniff me through the crate or through the little cage thing, and she gave me kisses, and I was like, oh, that's really sweet. And so I asked to get her out. Why are you biting me now? That's not nice. And she was like super nice, and she climbed up on me and nuzzled me and gave me kisses. And so I'm sending my husband these pictures and stuff like that of me holding this cat, and he's like, what are you doing? And I said, well, Maddie really wants a cat, so I went and looked for cats. And she's not orange, but she's super sweet. She has orange. She's got really pretty markings as a cat. She's probably got one of the coolest markings that I've seen. And so he was like, okay, well, let's figure this out. How are we going to do this? Where is she, you know, where are we going to put her stuff? And I was like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we brought her home. We surprised Maddie with a kitty. And Maddie and this cat They sit on the couch together, they watch TV, Maddie plays with the cat. Morgan also plays with the cat. She's a little rougher just because she's 2 and she's learning what soft hands are and being nice, and let's not pick up the kitty if it's not a good idea. And so the girls love Luna. Maddie did not name the cat Zuma because she was like, no, she's not a Zuma. She's not a Zuma kitty. So we talked about it, and we talk a lot about the moon and the stars and things like that in our house. Maddie gets super excited if she can see the moon outside at night. And so I said, well, you know, you really like the moon, and another name for the moon is Luna. And so Luna is named after the moon. And she will sleep with Maddie in her bed, or she'll sleep right next to my head in our bed. So she's very lovable. She loves everybody in the house. She's still kind of unsure about the dogs. Her and Zoe are working through things. Zoe's the only one that really, like, she doesn't attack Luna, but she also doesn't let Luna get away with anything, because Luna will kind of like swat at her and stuff like that. And Zoe's like, oh no, like, you're not gonna swat at me. So Zoe will bark at her and do that. But Violet's been smacked up by the cat a couple times, and Violet just kind of looks at her like, I don't know who you are, but I'm the oldest in the house, and I'm the OG here, so find your place, cat. Violet really doesn't care about Luna. Are you just going to sit here for the rest of the time? Potentially. You're going to attack my knitting. That's one of her favorite pastimes, is attacking my knitting, especially when I'm knitting. Okay, so the next work in progress that I have, let's get back on track, is another Timothy T-Rex. This one is for my daughter Morgan. We went to Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago, and this is all tangled up. Went to Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago. They had like 30 or 40% off of yarn. Again, like I said, not my favorite place, especially since they're kind of shady about what they've done with other dyers, and where like yarn has been duplicated and just not 100% great business tactics. Kind of not great with personal issues, like not being, you know, open to the LGBTQ community and all of that stuff. They're a little different, and they're not as open-minded as everybody else. But anyway, we're not going to talk about all of that. So Morgan picked out this yarn. So far, I noticed that it kind of goes into a fade, which is not terrible, but right now the top of the T-Rex is going to be yellowy orange, and then I think it'll fade into like an orangish color, to a pink, to a purple, and then to a blue. So I'll just have to see how this kind of gradiates down through the pattern, and I think it'll look pretty cool. Well, it does show on here. Maybe you can't see it, maybe you can. Yeah, it's gonna gradiate down. So, try to get this to refocus back on me. So this is another T-Rex for Morgan, we call her Mo. And so that should be done. It works up pretty quickly. It's just I have a lot of different things that I'm working on at one time. So I work on it here and there, and I think it'll be a really cute T-Rex. So that's my other work in progress. I have 2 more. This is in my Mountain State Stitches bag. I put it in here around my birthday. My birthday is at the end of October. And like I said earlier, I just turned 35. So I don't dislike it. Aging is part of life. So it just means that I'm getting closer to being 40, and that's not terrible, but you know, that's like a major birthday. Anyway, my work in progress that I have is the Coziest Memories blanket. This is by Kemper Ray. And I'm sure y'all have seen this multiple times, different places. I'm following this pretty much to pattern because, thank you, Luna. Because I think if I tried to do any of the squares bigger than what they are, I would lose some sort of motivation with it. The square that I'm working on right now is a woolen vinyl mini skein from my Advent last year. And, excuse me, this is called Heaven Beside You. It is this right here. And I was gonna try and knock out a square on my birthday, because I do like to put squares into my Coziest Memory blanket with intention. So I have a Christmas one in here from last year, and I finished the one that I did for the skein that I got on my anniversary with my husband when we went to a local yarn shop and I bought some mini skeins. This one was Strawberry Rhubarb Pie. If you didn't watch the last podcast, Strawberry Rhubarb Pie, while I do not enjoy it, it is one of my mom's favorite pies, and it's also something that I would always get for my Grandpa Dave when I went to go visit them, because he really liked that pie too. And so when I saw this colorway at the local yarn shop, I was like, that's perfect. And I had to pick it up. The other ones in here are different mini skeins from different ones. There's a lot of these ones in here are from my Advent calendar from last year. I did order some Advent calendars for this year, and I'm super excited about it. And I can't wait to do Vlogmas this year, because it was always something really fun to do during Christmas time. Last year was my first year doing Vlogmas. My daughter Maddie really loved it, because then she would help me open my different Advents. And this year I also got the girls' Advents too. I got them a Play-Doh one, and I got them a chocolate one. Last year they had a chocolate one and an Elf on a Shelf one that had the little mini figurines in it. And so this year, I think the only person that I have to find an Advent for is my husband, and I'm kind of at a loss. So if you guys know of any really cool Advents that you would get for your husband, if you could put them in the comments below, that would help me out a bunch. Hi, baby. Are you gonna come up here? Hi, Vi. Vi's like, you were talking about me. You were talking about me and the cat, Mom. All right, Minnie, tread lightly. You're gonna knock over the, No, 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 no. Okay. I have one more work in progress, and it's a sock, but it's a test knit. and it's not my pattern. It's somebody else's, and it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be kind of a mystery. No, Minnie, sit down. It's supposed to be kind of a secret on what it looks like. And okay, so my memory card decided that it was just gonna tell me that I needed to stop. And so anyway, I am clear of the dogs, not clear of the cat. I have to go back and talk about my last work in progress. As I was saying, this is a test knit. It is not my pattern, and I won't say too much about it other than it's a sock. And I can show you the top of the sock because it's like any other sock. I just wouldn't be able to show you the rest of it throughout the rest of the time that I'm knitting the sock until the pattern comes out. I can tell you the yarn that I'm using and the content of what the yarn is, what the 3 types of yarn are that I'm using, because I'm using 3 different skeins of yarn. So I am knitting these on size 0. So that's a US 0 size 2 millimeter, and these are on a 32-inch cord. So I'm doing magic loop. That's what I'm told to do. So here is the beginning of it, and that's gonna be about as much as I can say about the sock, but I need to have this done before the beginning of December. It calls for a mohair, so hopefully this will focus and not get obscured from the light, or there would be a weird shadow. There's a weird shadow on it. I want to say this is a mohair from the Wandering Flock, but I don't know the colorway name anymore. I lost the tag for it a while back. It's just been wound up and sitting on my shelf. I had another project that I was supposed to use mohair for, and I never did. I'm a serial starter, not so much a serial finisher. So I had works in progress that I showed before. Those are either frogged or I'm just not doing anything with them. If it doesn't bring me joy at the time, or I start to lose interest in it and I don't want to finish the project, I'm probably not going to finish it. Or it's going to sit in my work in progress pile for a bit and time out until I'm like, I should finish that. This right here is from Mandy's Makings. This colorway is called Plum Perfect. I had a full skein of this, and I was gonna make Halloween socks out of it when I got it last year, but it's been sitting in stash. So that is my main color. My contrast color is a mini that I've had for a while. I don't remember if this is a woolen vinyl colorway or where I got it from. The mohair is like in my face now. But this is the mini that I'm using. It's speckled. And I have this in a Cookies and Bees yarn cozy. My knitting bag is from Simply Serving. She came out with these a couple years ago. It's got plaid on the back, very in theme with the season. So that's what I'm working on right now. That is this project right here is my focus because I have to get it done with a deadline. So that is what I am working on. I don't have any works in progress other than the hat, the Cozy Memories, and my test knit and the dinosaur. I just, you know, I try to knit things that make me happy in the moment. Test knits have been pretty fun for me, even though it causes me to have a lot of pressure on myself to knit within a deadline instead of knit within, you know, my timeline. And sometimes my timeline is like super stretched out. Before I get to life stuff and things like that, and I'm sure there's about to be a canine feline squabble. Hi, bye. I wanted to show you a recent acquisition. Yes, Violet. You're gonna make Luna upset. And this is by one of my friends. And my friend Wanda came out with a new business venture, which is called Inked Wool. Wanda has a podcast too, but it is focused around planning. And she started up Inked Wool a couple months ago, and she started dyeing yarn. And she came out with this fade kit, and it's called Ermagerd. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, Wanda, how amazing. And I ordered from her, and this was the birthday gift to myself. And I can't wait to find a project to use this. I don't know if I need to knit socks with it. I don't know if I need to knit a cowl with it. I don't know what I need to knit with it yet, but this is a traditional sock mini set. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and in total these are 93 yard 20 gram minis. So I have to find the perfect project for it because these are pretty amazing. But I wanted to share this acquisition with you, and I wanted to share Wanda's beautiful creations with you. So if you want to get some amazing indie dyed yarn, please check out Inked Wool. I will put all of her information, her socials, and her website down in the description box with the rest of the things. Everything that I've talked about so far in the podcast, or projects that I'm working on, things like that, I will link to the designers, the yarn dyer, if I know the yarn dyer for the yarn that I'm using, because sometimes I lose labels. I will try to get more of my projects onto Ravelry. I just haven't done it. That's a goal of mine to do better with. I have this came out of my project bag. It's a 9-inch Chiaogoo circular needles. Chiaogoo is my favorite needles. Hi, Zoe. All of the puppies are coming to visit me. Life updates. My life is crazy. I knit when I can. If I can't, I don't. I'm a mom to a 2-year-old and an almost 4-year-old, and hello, Zoe. And I have 3 dogs, a cat, a full-time job that is sometimes more than just 40 hours and sometimes have weird hours. And, you know, I really do enjoy doing the podcast. I'm super excited for things in December because I am going to do Vlogmas, like I said. And I hope y'all stick around, like, subscribe, everything. And like I said, if you have any ideas for Advents for my husband. Put them in the comments below. My husband likes, my husband likes cars. He likes hunting. He likes guns. Typical guy stuff. We're not big drinkers in the house, so like a whiskey advent probably would not be his jam. Hi, Minnie. So, I don't know. I have to think of something creative for him. I guess if I knew something that would be like 24 parts other than Legos. He does like models, so maybe if there was like a model kit or something like that. Ooh, I wonder if I took like a small model kit and had like different pieces and took it apart. I have some scheming to do. Maybe not scheming, but plotting and thinking. We're not going to decorate for Christmas until after Thanksgiving because that's what we do in our house. And I'm super terrified because now we have a cat and I know she's going to terrorize my tree. And she's super sweet, but she's super naughty. She's Sour Patch Cat. Hello, Minnie. You're too big to be up in my lap right now. And you're wobbling my camera. Okay, so hopefully this is not too long of a podcast. Like I said, I will link everything below that we talked about. Please come back and watch Vlogmas because last year was super fun for me and I really like interacting with all of you all. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram because I do share a lot of my stuff on IfSheSitsSheKnits on Instagram. And I hope to all see you in the next podcast. Or, you know, if I'm super inconsistent with podcasting in the next 3 weeks, we'll see y'all at Vlogmas. And I really hope that you join me in that. So, until next time, happy knitting and y'all stay safe. Bye. Minnie, you tried so hard to be in the podcast. Go outside, make good choices. That wasn't a good choice. Hi, Luna. 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 Ow, claws. Ow. Luna. Luna. Hi, Luna. Oh boy. Okay. We're choosing violence. You're tearing stuff up. Nope, Luna. Hi, Luna. Pretty kitty. Look at her colors. Isn't she so pretty?